And so, good evening or morning, depending on where you may be on our currently tumultuous planet, and welcome. We invite you to really settle in and join us now in experiencing our shared enactment of E.J. Gould's cosmically curious play, Norton Street, and voyage along with us by occupying your own seat in the Magic Theater, where we'll all participate in an extraordinarily unique invocation, actually an experiential exploration of all sorts of useful mindsets about relating to eternity, including some fantastic suggestions EJ has shared with respect to tolerating and maybe even learning to actively enjoy it in our own inevitable afterlives. And who knows, perhaps if we pay extra close attention, we may be pleasantly surprised to discover how all this might even be tremendously beneficial in down-to-earth, practical ways in the lives we find ourselves now living. Please note that just as in real life, the roles and the characters who inhabit them are constantly changing. We would offer you a magic scorecard of who's who, but we're leaving that for Abbott and Costello at some other time. We deeply appreciate and are honored by and thank you for your attentive presence here. And once again, warmly welcome and invite you to join us on our journey. Please fasten your seatbelts, metaphorical or otherwise, activate your cosmic home direction finders, and enjoy the show. Because after all is said and done, you may become aware that it is ultimately and specifically all about only you.
Norton Street, a play by E.J. Gould. Act 1, Scene 1. Stage is dark. Spot on Bornless and Mike at Presidium in front of curtain. Curtain rises, lights up.
This isn't really a theater, is it, Mike?
Well, yes and no. It's called the Magic Theater.
What exactly does that mean, Mike?
The giant plasma widescreen shows you a video of your most recent lifetime. You're not dead, so it must mean that you've just popped your head out of the Earth game to take your place on the crossroad of energy and matter.
It's my turn to take up the cross of the waking state, I guess. I haven't been paying much attention to the time. So here we are again at the Magic Theater. Does everyone see what I'm seeing now? That looks like me up there on the screen. I should remember that scene. Gosh, did you implant a webcam into my forehead or something?
No, oh, Bornless one. You are seeing your most recent lifetime projected on the screen for your review. To note any changes you'd like to make next time through the game. The others in the theater see what they see.
So what is it exactly that they see on the screen?
They see their own most recent lifetimes, just like you do.
with credits.
Beg pardon? Oh, Bornless one?
My Lifetime movie. It's,
Yes.
well, at the moment it's rolling credits.
Ah, are they opening or closing credits?
I can tell. Oh, yes, I can. Now I can. Opening credits. Yep. They're rolling into an establishing scene, looks like to me.
That's happening now? You look kind of green in the gills.
Oh, I'm feeling strange, odd, wheezy, like I gotta get home fast before something terrible happens.
Something terrible? Like what?
I do know, like I've totally lost control or something.
Oh, and you had total control at some point in the recent past?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, I've never actually had total control over anything, including myself. What I mean to say is that I want to be not around non-player characters when we peak in the waking state. I want to be home when it hits us.
I know what you mean. Let's get out of the Magic Theater and get to Norton Street as fast as we can.
Yeah, good idea. I think I know the way.
What? But you live on Norton Street. You must know the way home.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm pretty sure I'll recognize Norton Street once we get there.
Recognize Norton Street, but you built the Norton Street gaming level yourself. So you'd have a place to exist in as if you were an organic life form, living out its exciting, busy, attention-absorbing lifetime in some sort of environment.
I know I blue line Norton Street into as ifness, and I know that all phenomena is illusion, including me. I'm very aware that I created everything we're seeing and experiencing. And I even created psychiatrist characters with solipsist theorists buzzing around in their software. But that doesn't automatically mean I'm overly confident that I know my way home.
Are you kidding? Oh, Bornless one? You've been working on the Norton Street God level for over 7 billion years local time and dozens of hours of objective Norton Street time.
I know, Mike, but Earth still doesn't seem finished somehow.
Not to worry, oh Bornless one. We'll be okay. We're almost home.
These non-player characters are all flat. It sure is weird to drive past them.
Yes, it's interesting that the car stands still and the scenery whizzes around the automobile bubble that is us.
LOL. It appears that the entire cosmos is actually just a 9-foot wide ball of ambient temperature particle plasma, within which is electronically painted a continually streaming self-illuminated holographic tactile hallucination of an entirely imaginary environment with totally imaginary characters, including us.
Tell me that again, oh Bornless one.
Certainly, Mike. It appears that the white ball of an imaginary hologram is a self-illuminated imaginary character that hallucinates the cosmos at 9 feet. I think that's what I said.
Why, that's exactly what you said before. I'm amazed you got it right.
Here we are at Norton Street. Home again. Here we are again. Same day, same room, over and over, endlessly forever. Cycles within cycles within cycles.
What are you muttering about, oh Bornless one?
Nothing, Mike. Just some run amok mental constructs slamming around inside my head where my brains will be if we actually existed.
Let's get inside quick before the local life forms start gathering around looking for handouts.
Blackout.
That was Bill. Blackout.
Act 1, Scene 2. Bornless and Mike on stage. Curtain rises.
Oh no, not this again.
Calm down, old Bornless one. What's happening now that wasn't happening before?
Nothing, Mike. But for some reason I can't quite fathom, it's getting bad again.
Hang on as best you can, old Bornless one. It's too late now to stop the waking state from happening.
I keep dying every breath I take.
Of course you do. Same thing happens to me. That's how you set it up.
Bornless sits on desk chair.
Help me, Mike.
Mike sits lightly on desk, feet on floor.
Help you what?
I'm trembling. It must mean I'm afraid.
Not necessarily. All it means is that you're trembling.
Oh, gosh. I feel better now. I thought trembling automatically meant you were afraid. So I started rummaging around in my head for things to be afraid of. I seem to be okay for the moment. What happens next?
This is Zen. Nothing happens next.
Blackout. Scene 1, Act 1, Scene 3. Lights up.
I feel weird again.
You're too much in the body. Don't think body thoughts.
Please help me.
Help you what?
The form may change, but the reality remains the same. I'm tired of seeing the same 128 objects.
128 objects?
That's right, 128 objects. I ought to know exactly how many there are, but I've counted them millions of times, and they've never varied once. Please help me.
How can I help you?
I don't know what's going on.
Neither do I. Since I never know what's going on, I make it my practice to remind myself frequently that I'm utterly clueless and that I should behave accordingly.
It's hard to walk. I can't stand up, but I can't sit down or lie down either. I feel weak and wobbly. Am I going to faint?
No, you probably won't faint. It's just that you keep dying every breath you take.
Bornless suddenly rises and starts pacing again.
Yes, that's it exactly. It's getting hot, very hot. Now it's getting cold. Why am I sweating if it's cold in here? Oh no, not this again. It's always the same room. It's always the same day.
Bornless stops pacing, leans on fireplace mantle.
Yes, it is.
Bornless resumes pacing.
Isn't there anything we can do to stop it?
No, we are going to peak at beat 0 sometime soon. And there's nothing we can do now to make that not happen.
I never meant this to happen. I feel like I'm at the top of a roller coaster that's about to let go. Please help me. I want to get off.
You can't get off the wheel by just wanting to.
I don't want to keep dying over and over again.
Nobody really enjoys it, but you can learn to like it once you fully realize how inevitable the death and rebirth cycle actually is.
Enjoy it? How could I possibly learn to enjoy it? There it goes again. It's too late to stop this.
Well, I'm obligated to tell you that you told me to remind you that this universe and the whole creation cycle chain was your idea in the first place.
Please stop it. Isn't there anything you can do to stop creation from happening again? There's no air up here. I can't breathe.
You don't have to breathe.
I feel like everything is expanding and contracting at one and the same time.
Yes, you set it up that way.
Everything is crumbling, disintegrating all around me. I'm dying again. Please help me.
Help you what?
Is anything real?
Well, it depends. How real are you?
I don't know.
Well, that's exactly how real everything else is. Reality is whatever you bump into.
Blackout. Act 1, Scene 4. Lights up.
It's all so useless, so meaningless, so purposeless.
Use, meaning, purpose. Are you sure those are what you really want, Bornless One?
What else is there, Mike?
Lots of things.
Like what?
Whatever you decide. You're the one doing all this.
All what?
Everything. You're the one.
But I don't want to be the one. I want to be real. I don't want to just make blue line imaginary levels to create self-hypnotic visions for myself in the void. I want to have a life, and I want to do it for real.
This is as real as it gets. It can't possibly get any more real than full-blown tactile hallucinations, which are technically visions in the void.
I don't understand.
Oh, yes, you do. You set it up this way, including forgetting that you created all this. It was you who blue-lined the level you call Norton Street. And here you sit, inside Norton Street, which contains the entire universe. And you always populate Norton Street with the same 128 objects you're always complaining about.
I didn't create them. They created themselves. It wasn't my fault that they are what they are. And if it is my fault that they have to be those things, I'm really sorry I did that to them.
There's no need for self-judgment. That teddy bear Captain Walrus up on top of the bookshelf there, the iPod, the iPad, and the game developer's supercomputer on your desk are just a few of the objects you have placed around yourself to achieve the illusion of stability here in the highest level of the universe, the waking state.
Are you saying that I've achieved emotional stability in the waking state because I have a couple of teddy bears, an iPod Touch, and a fuzzy plush named Captain Walrus?
No, the illusion of stability is what I said.
But there are so few things up here. I thought the entire universe was far more complex than just 128 objects in a few rented rooms.
The universe is complex, Bornless One. It's just that at the very top here, it's all rolled into 128 objects that represent all other objects in the universe below this one. See?
It's so simple, so bare. There's nowhere warm, nowhere safe, nowhere to hide.
Hide from what? What do you mean safe? You're not in any danger here. From where can danger come? This is all there is. It's always the same room. It's always the same day. This is, in fact, all there is.
I know that. Don't you think I know that? I know there's nothing really out there but voidness. But I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched. Someone or something is suddenly going to jump at me from out of nowhere.
Mike and Bornless look at audience.
Oh, Bornless, you've seen one too many reality shows.
Blackout. Scene 1. Act 1, Scene 5. Lights up. Bornless, downstage. Stops, turns to Mike.
I know there's nothing out there, but I still can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched.
Which would you rather? Shaking the feeling that you are being watched, or find out that you really are being watched?
I don't know. Which is worse?
You seem to be upset. Let's examine your circumstances. Where do you seem to be?
It looks like a room, a chamber, I would say. It looks like a living room at the moment. But why is it that I always end up alone in the bathroom?
What color are the walls in this chamber?
White, I think. No, blue? Somehow they seem to be both white and blue at the same time.
And the objects in here with us?
Mike crosses stage, back again.
The usual 128 objects, including a desk with a desk lamp and, of all things, a blonde wig in the open drawer there.
What do you suppose that blonde wig might be for?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
No idea at all?
None whatever.
You have no memory of having been the Great Mother? And how long do you suppose you've been here in this chamber?
I don't know. As long as I can remember. But I also remember having been somewhere else just now.
And how long do you think you've actually been in this chamber?
I hope I don't do anything when I look into the mirror over the sink if I go into the bathroom.
Meaning what exactly?
I don't know, Mike. Hope I don't make myself die again.
Bornless gestures across throat.
Every time I die, end up here on Norton Street. And ultimately, I end up alone in the bathroom, and the only way out seems to be to make myself die.
How long does it seem to you that you've been gone into the dream, the drama, the dance of life and death?
I don't know. But I do know I've been here for a very long time. A day seems very long when it never ends. Isn't there any way to get out of here even for a moment? I can't catch my breath. I've got to take refuge inside something safe. I've got to get some air.
No matter where you go, it's still the same room, still the same day. You're quite safe up here where you're all alone, and you don't need to breathe up here.
This can't be true.
What can't be true?
That it's always the same day, always the same room. That it never ends. That it's always my trip. Why can't it ever be your trip?
When it is, you'll be me.
Well, then who will you be?
I'll be the one asking, why is it always my trip? But you'll know, of course, that it's actually your trip.
Blackout. Act 1, Scene 6. Lights up. Mike and Bornless enter stage left.
You mean to tell me I'm talking to myself? I'm hallucinating you and all these objects?
No, as a matter of fact, the only thing that's somewhat real at the moment is me. And you're the one that's creating me.
Do you realize that what you said is completely absurd? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It doesn't even suggest anything. Are you aware of that?
Nothing comes to mind?
I'm very confused. Can I be confused by my own dreams?
This isn't a dream.
Well, then if this is real, then everything else must have been a dream.
Everything else. Like what?
When I went inside that book over there, I seemed to, I don't know, be someone. I had a life. I lived a whole life in just a single moment, I guess.
Do you remember what you did?
No, not exactly. Nothing in detail. But I do remember that everything seemed so important and very real and tangible. When I couldn't pay the rent and I was out on the street, it was snowing. I was wet, cold, and hungry.
Sounds terribly riveting. You felt it in your bones, eh?
To me, at the time, it was real, Mike. Even now, knowing that Earth doesn't really exist, I can't help feeling that I've somehow actually left here, gone there, and returned.
You did seem a bit distant for a while there, as if you were sort of zoning out.
I guess I was really deeply absorbed in it. When I'm there, the world of Earth seems just as real as this one, maybe more real.
And you are sure how real this world is?
Not really. No. Why couldn't it all be one big holographic tactile hallucination with different levels of illusion?
It is. Numbered, indexed, and color-coded for easy recognition. So you'll always know which part of the bardo you happen to be in at the moment.
How long is this going to continue?
Until nightfall.
So when it gets dark, it'll be over and I can rest. I can get a breath. I won't feel this nausea, this dry mouth, dizziness, this feeling of always being on the edge of a precipice, in front of a dam that's about to burst. That hollow, gut-wrenching sensation that tells you something horrible is about to happen.
I didn't say you'd feel any better about being the one. What I said was that this cycle will be over at nightfall.
Bornless picks up the book off bookshelf by desk.
And what exactly will that be?
Bornless starts reading the book.
I don't know. Night has never fallen up here yet.
Blackout.